Living in the 20th century. I actually debated even including this section, but believe it or not, there are still people blocking their cash flow by having no online presence at all. So we'll keep this section short. You need a professional website. You know it, I know it, your customers absolutely know it. So let's look at some of the mental blocks people put up to slow their success in this regard. One excuse people use to hold themselves back is, I'm not tech savvy. That's fine, a lot of people are not. The thing is, you don't have to be. Many websites today are as simple to manage as using email. Most people, even if they're not very tech savvy, can handle email, right? In my business, I offer websites for real estate investors that are designed to be simple to use. I can tell you, you don't have to be tech savvy to use them. I've dealt with a lot of people that can barely get themselves on the internet, barely check their email, but they have a website and it's working for them. So not being tech savvy, it's not really a valid reason not to have a website. I'm old school. Okay, that's fine, but not everyone else is. What does your clientele prefer? Not everyone likes talking on the phone. If I can do something by email or online, I prefer that. And many people today do also. A website is a low pressure way to get information. It's expected of businesses to have a website. That's going to be the first thing people want to know. What's your website? Can I take a look at it? Another benefit is a website works for you 24/7. Maybe you like making and receiving phone calls, but I'm guessing you probably don't want to receive them at 3 o'clock in the morning. If you don't have a website, your business is limited by the amount of hours you're available to talk on the phone. Another excuse people give for not having a website is it's too expensive. But there are affordable options. If the options you've seen are not in your budget, you haven't looked around enough, and you're missing the bigger picture. You're blocking your cash flow. Let's say you buy a website and pay someone else to set it up. You pay to keep it up and running every single month. 12 months you're paying for it. Let's say it comes to about $600 the first year because you paid for professional setup, design, monthly fee, everything. Let me ask you, if you only got one deal from your website for this year, would it be worth it? Let's say you clear $10,000 and your website costs you about $600 for the whole year. Is that a good investment? Would you rather keep the $600 or lose the $10,000? Not to mention the hours of calls you didn't have to answer. If you go out and put up bandit signs all over town, how much time do you spend talking to each lead? When we were doing bandit signs, our phones were ringing off the hook. Every time we did bandit signs, we just knew there was nothing else going on that weekend. We'd both be on the phone the whole weekend. I wish I could have paid $1.65 a day and had all those leads captured and handed to me. A secretary won't take that information for $1.65 a day. A website will. If you've been procrastinating or this has been a mental barrier for you, clear it out. Let the cash flow. Now, let's suit up. You've probably seen this picture before. This guy on the left has a professional suit tailored just for him. He knows how to dress, and it shows. This guy on the right pulled a suit off the rack, put it on, and he's walking around thinking he looks professional. But everyone else sees a slob. Just putting on a suit doesn't mean you're well dressed. Wait, you're telling me that I always have to wear a suit? No, I'm not telling you how to dress. We're talking about being professional in your business. Just having a website up doesn't mean people view you as a professional. A few small tweaks can make the difference between having a professional appearance that buyers and sellers are comfortable with instead of giving the impression that you just rolled out of bed, made a bandit site from construction paper, and are answering calls on the way to your court date. Let's look at some do's and don'ts that can make the difference between looking like a business person I'm comfortable selling my home to or a sloppy wannabe. First, have a dedicated phone number, or at least a phone that you can always answer professionally. We've probably all had the experience of calling a phone number that you think is a business, and the person at the other end answers, "Hello?" Then you're wondering, is this a business, or did I call some guy at his house? Did I dial the right number? It's not a good first impression. If you can't afford a second phone line, you can get one through Skype or MagicJack really cheap. Or if you want to use your existing phone, just be sure that you always answer it professionally. At the very least, say your name. "Hello, this is Todd." The same thing applies to your voicemail message. Don't have your family members and kids answering the phone. That's a no-brainer. Have separate social media accounts for your business. Don't let your prospects see social media accounts that will undermine their respect for you. If you go on Instagram and search for the hashtag real estate investor, you will see drunk men clubbing late at night with their scantily clad girlfriends. I wouldn't put my house in that guy's hands, would you? Most importantly, have a professionally designed website. The key word being professionally. Don't make a do-it-yourself website. Sometimes people want to save money by using one of those build your own website services. The problem with that is a do-it-yourself website always looks like a do-it-yourself website. This will scare off your prospects, especially sellers. You need to look professional. Imagine you're having chest pains and you want to see a heart specialist. You look in the phone book, call someone, make an appointment. You show up at the address they gave you and you're outside someone's house. You pick up the phone and call and say, "I'm at the address you gave me, but it's just a house." Then the doctor says, "Yeah, you're at the right place. I work out of my garage." What are you going to do? Probably drive off and find a different doctor. A house is a big deal to most people. It's the biggest investment of their life. Just like you have an expectation for what a doctor's office should look like, they have an expectation for what a business's website should look like. Marilyn Monroe expressed it well when she said, "I don't mind making jokes, but I don't want to look like one." Sometimes people think they're going to save money by building their own website, and that it's quick and easy. We're going to break down the real cost a little later, and you can see that's not the case. If you do it yourself, you have to do all your own content creation. Even if you love writing and you're great at it, it takes a lot of time to get it right. Your other option is to hire someone, and that's not cheap. I know this is the case because for my sites, I hired a professional real estate investing writer to create all the content. It's easy to get in over your head with all the technical aspects like building lead capture forms, setting up email autoresponders, and property listings. What you may think is going to be an afternoon side project often turns into weeks or months of your time down the drain. At the end of all of that, all you have is a website that looks like this suit over here on the right. You might be proud of it, think it looks good, but no one else is going to be impressed. How much better would it be if you had spent that time getting deals? One deal would have easily paid for a professional site. Someone else can build a professional site for you. No one else is going to find deals for you. Anything your seller sees needs to be professional. You're running a business now, so start looking like one. Suit up.